Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 7, Justice. I would probably say this is one of the most infamous episodes of The Next Generation, and it's pretty cringeworthy, but kind of in a funny, way over-the-top way. This is the episode where the crew goes to a planet, and it's clearly like a sexual awakening type episode, where you could tell that Gene Roddenberry was basically like, so in my first series, like, women weren't even allowed to show their belly button. So in this one, everybody's fucking naked. And it's a little intense. And supposedly the costume designers even had a difficult time keeping the actors covered up. I would also say that this is the most obvious remake of the episode The Apple, where Kirk encountered the crew where it was kind of the opposite. They were sexually repressed because like this machine was keeping them this way, and Kirk kind of inspired them to realize who they were. Whereas in this episode, they're already like all about the free love and everything. And again, there's like a machine that they refer to as God, kind of keeping them in check. So anyway, they have strict laws in this episode where if you do anything wrong, it doesn't matter how big or how small, you're put to death. And then, of course, Wesley decides to fuck everything up, and because he steps on some flowers, he gets sentenced to death. And so then the episode kind of changes a little bit to the Prime Directive, where does Picard just grab Wesley and go and say, sorry, but your plan is not for us? Or does he uphold the Starfleet values and kind of do what he needs to? Which, it's kind of interesting because then Data says, you know, if we rescue Wesley, one, we're going against our own rules, and two, this God entity machine that we don't understand could come after the Enterprise. So is the one life of Wesley worth the 1,000 lives that we have on the Enterprise D? Which is an obvious shout out to Spock's "the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few." And in good old-fashioned Captain way, Picard's like, nope, we're risking it all for the one person because the lives of the one do outweigh the lives of the few, or the many. But overall, it's an interesting episode. Will Wheaton has had a lot to say about this episode, especially the line of like, I'm with Starfleet and Starfleet doesn't lie. About like, oh yeah, that's not true. But overall, it's interesting. I think this is one of the first episodes I remember watching as a kid, and not because of like the sexual tension. I just remember it just being so over the top because I was so young. I didn't really get what was happening. Like, why do they run everywhere? And it's just, but like as an adult, or yeah, viewing it now as an adult, I was like, wow, yeah, this episode probably scarred me a little bit. I'm sure most of you guys have seen this episode. Let me know what you guys think. This isn't the first sci-fi like plot device where you're put to death very, very quickly for little to no reason. Let me know what you guys feel about that plot device. Let me know what you guys think about this episode kind of in general. This is also one of the first instances where we see Worf interested in a human and then talk about like how he can't be in a relationship with human women because they're too fragile. But then later on we know he starts dating Troy. So this is that first kind of instance. But yeah, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Thank you to all of those who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. And then I will see you guys tomorrow for The Battle.